In this video, we're simply solving for x. So what that means is we're going to want to have our x on one side of the equal sign and what it's equal to on the other side of the equal sign. Now, typically in math, so math convention, the way that we do things in math, tells us that when we're solving for a variable like x, we would prefer if the x was on the left-hand side of the equal sign and whatever it's equal to ends up on the right-hand side of the equal sign. Okay, so we're going to just make sure when we solve this problem, when we get to the end, if the x is on the right-hand side, we're going to move it. Okay, so right now we have our x on one side of the equal sign, but we also have another term there. Okay, so if our goal is to find out what x is equal to, we need to remove any other terms that are on the same side of the equal sign as our variable. Okay, so what is our term? It says plus 20. Okay, so in order to move this term or get rid of this term on the left-hand side, we're going to need to do the opposite operation, the opposite action. So if we have a plus 20, then if we minus 20, that would get rid of it, right? So we can either say minus 20 or we can say plus negative 20. The reason I'm saying this is because I'm going to add it here. Okay, so if I just write negative 20, I don't have a sign, right? I don't have an operation happening here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it's going to be negative 20. I'm going to put that in brackets. And that's going to be plus, okay? So we're adding a negative 20, so this is the opposite, right? We have a positive 20 here, we have a negative 20 here. When we combine them together, we're going to get 0, right? And that's our goal. Now, we're trying to isolate this x, right? So what we've chosen to do is remove this other term, this positive 20. So by doing that, or to do that, we're going to add this negative 20. But we can't just add that to one side, okay? If we just added it to one side of the equation, we've changed our equation, okay? We're solving a different problem. So the rule of thumb here is whatever we do to one side, we have to do to both sides, okay? When we're trying to move or eliminate a term, okay? So we added negative 20, so we're going to add negative 20 to our other side of the equation. Okay, now we can go ahead and simplify. So here I had put the brackets here, but that's just to keep the negative with the 20. I can drop these brackets. So this is just negative 20, this is plus 20. These two terms cancel out, which is what we were trying to do, okay? So honestly, if you're trying to isolate for a variable and you do this and they don't cancel, those two terms don't cancel, then you've done something wrong, okay? So we have negative 20 plus 20, that's 0. All we're left with then on the left-hand side, we only have one term left, and it's our x. And that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to isolate our x, and we want it on the left-hand side, and it is. So that's perfect. So now let's look at the right-hand side. We have a 26 plus a negative 20. Okay, so we can just go ahead and perform this addition. 26 plus negative 20 is simply 6. And we have our answer, x equals 6. So the only other thing then we needed to do was just double check to make sure our variable was on the left-hand side. And it is. It's already there, so there's nothing else we have to do. And we've solved our problem. X equals 6. If you would like to learn how to quickly study for your GED exam online and get a new resume, then visit testprepskills.com.